Hey guys, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. Once again, we have another theory review. I believe that this is number 6. I could be wrong, but I believe that this is. So, welcome once again. So, a lot of the theories that came in have to do with Serena and Ash, and that's fine. We've tackled a lot of the whole miraculous stuff lately, and we will continue to actually talk about this stuff throughout this time. But I do actually want to take a moment to talk about Power Players, because, of course, one of you guys did mention that Power Players is coming, or it's out, something along those lines, on Cartoon Network, and yeah. um, is the show going to be connected with Miraculous? I've been the thing is, I knew that this show was coming. I wasn't exactly certain how exactly they were going to connect it, or if at all. And I do think that it will most likely be connected. And of course, the one of you who suggested that I talk about this was, of course, Jeremiah, because you always suggest these things. Oh my gosh, you're like the only person that actually talks on these, gives me theories and stuff. Anyways, so what exactly is going to happen for Power Players? Well, unfortunately, I don't know because I can't really watch Cartoon Network. But most likely what's going to happen is that if Power Players is going to connect, I think that most likely what will happen is that the main characters from Power Players will have to make their way across the world to Paris to actually meet up with Ladybug and Cat Noir. The main reason that I say this is because I don't know whose toys they are. And I feel like it's going to be a more American thing no matter what the case is. But it is also possible that Power Players might be actually talking about Chris's toys, but I don't know for a fact. We'll have to wait and see what exactly happens. But definitely something interesting to say the least. I'm absolutely ecstatic to see what happens in the future, but unfortunately, there's just not enough data that I have to actually make a reasonable guess on this. The next theory comes from the whole Serena going to Galar, and it's basically that Ash should win the Sun and Moon League and become the champion there. Quite simply, no. I said in the video that this region is actually one of the most hated regions, and ending a show on its worst season is actually one of the worst decisions that you can actually make. That's one of the reasons why, if you actually notice, when a show is doing really bad, they greenlight one more season and they go all out for it. Like I said in the video, when Once Upon a Time was ending, we got confirmation that the last season was going to be the last season, and and that was probably the best decision that they made because of the fact that actually made people really enjoy the final conclusion. I, for one, am so glad that they ended on that season rather than this season, rather than the season before. And the same concept goes for why I believe that Ash should finish things in Galar rather than by completing the thing in Alola. The thing is that, yes, Ash has actually captured a legendary kind of Pokemon with Meltang, and should that absolutely be, and I believe he also captured Poipole. So his team is honestly one of the best teams that he's had so far, but at the same time, Ash is an idiot, and very few people are going to be happy if this is the season that it ends on, especially someone like me who, as soon as they saw the first few episodes, was like, no, I'm going to wait until we get to the next region to return to the anime. And that's kind of the same situation that I had when Gen 5 happened, because quite simply, Gen 5 sucked. And especially after the amazing, the whole Gen 7, after what happened in Gen 6, I really don't see any good reason that they had for, one, removing Serena, and two, making this season the worst season ever. It's actually the one of the lowest, the worst received of all of the seasons. Like, what I think is kind of funny is that Jello Apocalypse once actually made a video, thing about this, where where he said everyone hates Gen 7, even though it looks better than it ever has before, and I'm just like, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Gen 6, abso-freaking-lutely, it was amazing. But the new gen, no, it really didn't. The games were okay. And while, yes, Ash winning the league would be amazing, and considering the fact that there hasn't been a victory for the league yet, and the league is just starting, it might be most likely that Ash will win this league. But what I think is actually going to happen is that it's going to be a similar situation to what happened at the Islands back in Gen 1. And again, it's going to be very similar to what happened in Gen 3 with the Battle Frontier, where Ash should have become a Frontier Brain, but he wanted to continue his journey and become better and eventually win an actual league. And I see that being the same thing with this, mostly due to the fact that Alola is a small region, and it's not going to be as impactful to him to just win this league. He wants to do more and actually win a true league with all 8 badges and actually become a champion. So, yeah, I don't think that he's going to be just going to the league and whatever. So, yeah. Absolutely, they will eventually have Serena and Ash will most likely get together and have a kid. And that is probably what's going to happen after Galar. That will be the region. After we've finished up with Galar, Ash and Serena will probably get together, and the next season will most likely be about their kid. I've actually talked a little bit, I believe, about my theory that Ash will have to go to every single region once again and defeat all of the gym leaders. Well, not all of the gym leaders, but win every single league, and then he will finally meet his father and face him, which would be Red. And I think that would be a much more impactful story for all of us. Because by having Ash face off against Red as his father, which I do believe that Red could very likely be Ash's father, I think that would be the most impactful thing. Because for the longest time, we've been wondering, who is Ash's father? There's absolutely been theories like Professor Oak, Bruno, and several others since then. But Ash needs to know who his father is, and I think we will find that out before long. So, well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Um, the next, I do want to actually talk a little bit about there being a main female character. If you guys don't know, I did say in my video about Serena and Galar that it would be really awesome for there to be a female character become the main character. The main reason I say this is because of the fact that a lot of the shows that we've been getting lately have always been focusing on male characters, and it's been the case for a lot of years. Like, you can look at my manga collection and you'll realize that I think two series on that. The main character is a girl. Two. That's an actual full manga, and most of the anime that I've watched, again, very few shows actually have a female lead, and actually a female lead. Obviously, Pokemon, it always has one female character, but Ash is the lead. He's always the main character. Yes, the female characters get their time to shine, but it's not quite the same as for Ash. He's the main character. We see his growth. We see him change. We don't necessarily... Well, yes, we do see the girls change. It's nowhere near as much as we see Ash change. And then fall and ruin every single thing that he ever worked for. I'm sorry, that still irritates me to this day. But some of my favorite shows actually are the ones where the main character is a female. Just like I've said before, Witch Hat Adler, absolutely one of my favorite mangas, and probably my number one manga for the rest of my life. Seven Deadly Sins. While yes, the main character is technically Meliodas, it's really a story about Elizabeth and her journey to become to get the Seven Deadly Sins. That's the story. It's not about Meliodas. It's about her. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's the case. And honestly, there's a lot of other shows that I also think would benefit from it. Noragami, again, the main character technically is Yato, but it's also Hiyori. And the same goes for a lot of shows. We don't really get that many shows that we can classify as shonen or really intense shows. Like, the only ones that pop to mind automatically is, of course, Witch Hat Atelier and maybe Sailor Moon, but I've never watched that, so I don't actually know. Even Noragami, which, yes, it has a lot of fighting in it, it's usually Yato who's doing the fighting. It's not Hiyori. Yes, she does fight, but it's much less. And the same, once again, goes for Seven Deadly Sins. It's never Elizabeth who fights. She's the healer. She's the backup. The only woman who fights, the only two women, I should say, that fight is Merlin and Diane. No one else. No other females are really the ones fighting. Yes, there are some extra characters, but none of the main characters, really. And I think that Pokemon would actually benefit from having its main character be switched from being a male character to, quite honestly, being a female character. Pokemon has often been considered a boys' game, but considering how far it's come now, it's much more both genders. So having Ash no longer be the main character might actually benefit us. Well, yes, there will most likely be some boys that are going to be like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore because it's a girl show now. Having Ash and Serena have a daughter who becomes the next main character would honestly be the best bet, I think. Maybe have like the male character be the take the play. Maybe have two male characters, one take the place of Brock and one take the place of whatever the female character is, and just continue to do that for a while. It honestly wouldn't be that big of a deal. The main character would be Ash and Serena's daughter, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, especially if they introduce all three characters at the same time. Only those of us who know the show would actually realize that right off the bat that Ash and Serena's daughter is the actual main protagonist, not these two boys, and it would once again welcome newcomers. So, whatever their choice is, I think that right now, if they are going to be ending the anime anytime soon, take some time to get away from the badness of what we had in the last gen, and instead move over to Galar. Even generations are the best. Fight me. So like I said, finish it off with having Ash and Serena team up once again and have that be the main goal. It would be absolutely the best. And then we can have our female character. But anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments any of your theories for whatever show that you are really a fan of. If I do know the show, then I will see if I can tackle it for next theory review. I'm sorry that I had to take so much time to actually talk about Pokemon in this theory, but we'll see what happens next time. But anyways, guys, like I said, let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. I will try and communicate with you guys every single time. And also, please, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you're new, please subscribe and ring the notification bell and tell your friends about the channel. Because we need more people to join us and help us make more theories. That, honestly, I think a lot of you guys will enjoy the upcoming theories. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!